Hello and welcome to another episode of the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Connor Moreno, lead writer for UCLA Bruins on SI. And today, we've got a short week ahead for the UCLA Bruins. They take on New Mexico on Friday. So I thought today we would get right into it with just kind of an outlook on the rest of UCLA's season. I found something about their remaining strength of schedule that is a bit concerning for UCLA. And then we're going to talk about kind of the rest of their opponents that are in the top 25 and the AP top 25 polls. So just going to get a good sense around UCLA's remainder of the season and kind of what they're approaching to finish the season, to look ahead. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to go into their strength of schedule right here. And this strength of schedule is according to ESPN's Football Power Index. And the Bruins have the 18th hardest schedule in the nation, remaining strength of schedule in the nation. That's in all of college football. And ESPN has this measurement where it's a average in-game win probability. So basically, it takes the average of, the average FBS school and their probability to win the game. I should just pull it up right here, actually, see what it says. So it says teams average in-game win probability, rank adjusted for a chance that an average FBS team would control games from start to end the way this team did given the schedule. So basically the chance to win. And UCLA is ranked 134th for their average in-game win probability for the remainder of the season. 134th. That is insane to me. 134th. So, basically, and I wrote about this on UCLA Bruins on SI, basically all this shows is that the outlook is not looking good for UCLA, especially after their 0-2 start. I chronicled it all off-season. Towards the beginning of the season, I said this Utah game is super important, and after they lost it, I said that UNLV game is the most important, because if you start 0-2, then you're looking at a really bad outlook for the rest of the season like they're looking at right now. But I do think that if they won the UNLV game, then that sparks the chance to go 3-1 into the Penn State game in Week 6. And you kind of change the outlook of your season a little bit, but now I'm not too sure it looks really good at all. And I wrote it here, according to ESPN's analytics, UCLA is favored in just one game for the remainder of the season, and that's Friday against New Mexico. All the other games, every single conference game, they are underdogs in, according to ESPN's analytics. And I said to take it even further, UCLA's remaining strength of schedule ranks 6th in the Big Ten, behind just Wisconsin, Purdue, Rutgers, Iowa, and Northwestern. Considering, you play, I think, half of those teams for the rest of the season, not bad, right? Well, UCLA is the only team that hasn't gotten a win all season in those things. And Iowa and Northwestern are the only team that have a loss. So, after New Mexico, UCLA has a bye week, and then they play against Northwestern to open conference play. I think that Northwestern game is super important. It is very, very important in terms of how you want to set the tone for the rest of the season. We could keep it straight. UCLA kind of already set the tone for how their season's going to go. I know it's only 2 games, but going into the season with a ton of momentum, they even had me fooled. I really had a positive outlook on how UCLA was going to be this season, and quite frankly, they had a dud week 1, got killed by Utah, and then UNLV, you really think that they're going to turn the tides, and it took them an entire half to even look like a competent team enough against UNLV. Now, granted, Utah was probably better than a lot of people were giving them credit for, I know, me especially, and maybe you could say the same for UNLV, but I'm just not too sure that UCLA is ever going to reach the heights that we kind of thought they were going to reach going into the season. So that's why this New Mexico game is crucial. Obviously, you expect UCLA to win that, but some people expected UCLA to beat UNLV, and we don't know. New Mexico has looked like a pretty decent team. They pushed number 14 Michigan to the limits in week 1. So I mean, who knows? New Mexico is. I wouldn't be surprised if they could surprise some people, maybe even make it a close game. I mean, I was scrolling on Twitter right now before I recorded the podcast and saw a few predictions that were predicting New Mexico to win by like 3 or 6. So I mean, people are really low on UCLA right now, but I think given that it's important for UCLA to kind of have that chip on their shoulder. And, Deshaun Foster's been talking about it through practices after the game, after the UNLV game, just talking about, got to keep on, instilling in them that, you have to execute and all those things. I mean, I talked about it last podcast, the takeaways. The second half Bruins team that we saw against UNLV was a night and day difference from the one that we saw in the first 3 halves of the season. And I think that if they can establish that identity early in a game and establish it early in the game for the remainder of the season, then maybe they can reach that 5 or 6 win projection that they had entering the season. But right now, and as I wrote, given their strength of schedule, I mean, I would be surprised if they could even make 5 wins this year, which is a complete failure in terms of what many projected them to reach based on last season. But then again, I mean, I hate to keep on bringing it up, and I hate to having this possibly misguided optimism about them, but I mean, last season you saw Deshaun Foster rally them towards the second half of the season. Could they make a similar run this year? I'm not too sure. I think the second half schedule is a lot more daunting than last year's was. I mean, after Penn State, you have Michigan State and Maryland. Those are 2 wins that you could possibly get if you formed enough of an identity as a team to get. But after Michigan State and Maryland, you have Indiana, Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, USC to close out the season. I mean, that's going to be a rough stretch, a tough gauntlet, and I'm just not too sure if I predicted UCLA to get 8 wins, and I feel like a fool right now because they just came out this season and completely just turned the tables on what I actually thought that they were going to be. So anyways, that is the strength of schedule portion. Real quick, we're running out of time. Let's just go into UCLA's opponents that are in the updated AP top 25. Number 1, Ohio State, no change. Number 2, Penn State, no change. So, I mean, UCLA has the number 1 and 2 teams in the nation on their remaining schedule, but that's probably what is really is a big factor in their strength of schedule for the rest of the season. So, just keep that in mind. But we have number 20, Utah. They shot up into number 25 after they beat UCLA, and they just keep on going up. So, I mean, for all you optimists out there, maybe Utah was just that good of a team. They're definitely looking like it. Number 22, Indiana. They play against UCLA, I think, week 10. I could be wrong, though. Week 10, week 9, maybe. And so those are the only teams that are in the top 25, but UCLA does have opponents ranked in the other receiving votes. USC, they got 64 votes, which puts them at number 30. They really haven't played competent competition yet, but, I mean, regardless, they've dominated them, so they're looking like a really good team. Nebraska got 10 votes. That puts them at number 35. They're 2-0 as well. They just beat Akron 68-0. And then number 38, after beating UCLA, UNLV got 5 votes. That puts them at number 38 in the nation. So, I mean, hey, optimists again. Maybe UNLV was just that good of a team. But then again, they're a Mountain West team. You really expect better things out of a UCLA program that just moved to the Big Ten. So, yeah, that's all we had for today's episode. Tomorrow's episode, I think we'll go ahead and go into like a little bit of a preview for the New Mexico game. Obviously they play on Friday, short week, so we'll probably get into the previews a lot earlier this week. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow.